I don't know if it'll let me give you
It
that
says
permission on my
request
end.
permission to record on this computer. Request
Okay.
host to start. Yeah, I need your permission.
Okay, so what I would do, I will send you the link when I'm done.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, so we are now recording. So just briefly again for me to intro, I am Dr. Michelle Green, natural medicine practitioner. This month is Women's Health Month. This is the last day of Women's Health Month. We did a kickoff this month and doing a whole lot of other topics, and we're going to end the month with my finale topic, okay? And that finale is going to be about your gut, literally, okay? Your gut might be the reason that you feel off. So, first and foremost, show of hands. Who is feeling off today, this weekend, this month, this year, right? And you may just not be able to put your finger on it. Well, I'm here to tell you about it. I see that hand, Miss Greta. I see it. So we're gonna talk about it. All right, so the number one thing, first and foremost, okay, women are struggling silently, and that's not necessary. Okay, many women are told that you're just aging, right? It could be stress, it could be menopause, and you're just not feeling yourself, right? So those are things that we want to talk about because it is not always about aging. It's not a lot of times of women, I will tell you, it is stress, but we're going to talk about how to deal with that naturally, right? Of course. But also, it's always not about menopause either, because those are not all the things that drive you when it comes to just your natural self, right? When you want to feel like yourself, and you maybe have gone years now where you've had that feeling, like, I just don't feel like myself anymore. And then, of course, we have to be aware of, okay, well, what did that look like when you did feel like yourself? How long ago was that, right? And those are the questions you want to make sure that you put down on the paper because when you do get back to that, you have to also be able to realize that too. Because you could have gone for years saying the same thing. I just don't feel like myself anymore. A lot of times I will hear from women all the time, right? Since I've had children, I just don't feel like myself anymore. Well, guess what? You're a brand new woman now. Now that you've had children, yourself is being recreated, of course, with every milestone in life and every transition. But those still those core characteristics or core feelings that you have in your own nervous system, where you say, okay, well, this is how I want to feel when I do feel like myself. So as women, we have to first of all be aware of what those things are and know for ourselves because no one else can tell you that. Okay. For me, just looking out at the green grass and the trees feels great to me, right? That doesn't feel great to everyone else. So you have to find out what that thing is for you. So you do know, okay, well, this is how I want to feel when I do these certain things. Okay. So because I don't want you to struggle struggle silently. I'm talking too fast. I don't want you to silently struggle. Okay. So your body speaks to you before it breaks. So when you get that feeling of being off, right? Even if you don't have obvious symptoms, even if you've gone to your doctor and he said, "Oh, your labs are great. Everything looks good," right? But you have symptoms in your own mind, right? Because your body is speaking to you, telling you something is wrong. And even if you can't put it in the lab, right? Even if you can't express exactly what it is, what the symptoms are, your body is talking to you by way of just natural responses, right? A simple food craving, right? Bloating, constipation, right? Just overall fatigue. You wake up and you're still tired. When's the last time? Did you ladies get good night's sleep last night? Tell me that. Who had a good night's sleep last night? No? 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Who had that last night? Uh-oh. Anybody? Come on now, y'all. Anybody? So that's important, right? We can't heal and feel good without rest. There we go. Tasha had a good night's sleep. Good, good. So it's important, right? So those are some of the symptoms that do show up in the body when your body's just naturally speaking to you. So headaches even, right? You may think it's blood pressure all the time and it's not. No, your body's telling you to shut down, sit down, take a break, right? That's what headaches can be sometimes. But again, that's just your body speaking to you. Mood changes, not always tied to hormones. Okay. That is literally simply your body might be saying, I don't want you to be in this space right now. I need you to be alone right now, or I need you to spend time with the people you love right now, right? We have to determine what those things are. But those are just some of the ways that your body is speaking to you without obvious medical symptoms, right? So when I say bloating, for example, that's one thing that is really common when it comes to women and their health, but they just deal with it. They think this is normal. That is not normal. I'm here to tell you that, all right? It's not normal. I'll tell you how to get over that and how to fix that. Because when I say your gut might be the reason why you fell off, it's because your gut health matters big time. All right. So now here's the magic question. Well, not magic, the number one question that I always ask. And if you've ever been on any of my calls, you know what I'm going to ask you. How many times a day should we have a bowel movement? There we go. Miss Cheryl knows. Tasha definitely knows. 3 times a day,
3 times.
every day. Yes, every day, every day, every day. Not once a week, not once every 2 days, right? Even once a day is okay, but we should go 3 times a day. So your gut health impacts so many different things, right? So when we do sleep at night, that remember that good sleep I mentioned, that sets up the stage for your good gut health and the amount of times that you go to the bathroom daily. Okay. So when you sleep at night, let's talk about the sleep clock. Now, who goes to where are my late night owls at? What time you ladies going to bed at night? Tell me, tell me. Go ahead and unmute, Miss Greta. I see.
I go to bed at around 10:30.
Okay, Tasha, 10:30. Who else?
And then
Yeah,
sometimes it varies.
I'm sorry, say again. 10:30,
I said
11.
sometimes it varies because I
It
sew.
varies.
Hmm.
Ah, okay, okay. Awesome. All right, so you ladies are doing pretty good. Elena said 10:30, 11. So we should be going to bed. Let's talk about the sleep clock, right? We should be in the bed at 10 so that we are asleep by 10:30. Okay. Why is that? Because what do we do when we sleep? We heal, we rest, we detox. Okay. And Miss Cheryl, that's way too late. We're gonna talk about it. No, midnight is not good. So when you go to bed at night, right, your detoxification process begins at 11 p.m. Okay. And it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, who you with. No, your body operates by the sun. Your circadian rhythm operates with the sun. Okay. So at 11 p.m. at night, based on that circadian clock, that is when your gallbladder begins to detoxify. So if you're not in the bed at 11, the hours for your gallbladder detoxification process is 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. So if you're not in the bed during those hours, guess what your gallbladder's doing? It's hanging out waiting on you to go to sleep, not detoxifying, right? So if you have the inability to digest fats, or if you have floating stool, right, means you're not digesting fats. If you don't have your gallbladder, right? If you don't have your gallbladder, that's a big deal. And I'm going to tell you what is happening in your body without it, but also how to overcome it. Okay. Because removal of the gallbladder is big business. Okay. You need your gallbladder. God gave us a gallbladder for a reason, right? And it is to do what? Guess what? Absorb fats. So if your brain is made of fat, by the way. So you need fat, right? You need to be able to absorb fat. Your hormones, ladies, you need fat for hormone production. So if you don't have the ability to break down and absorb fats because you're either not detoxifying your gallbladder at night because you're awake between 11 and 1, or if you no longer have your gallbladder, right, that puts you at risk for everything that I just mentioned. Hormonal imbalance, mental cognitive decline, right? All the things that you need fat for. So it's really important to go to sleep, number one, but that's just the start of it, okay? 11 to 1 is your gallbladder. 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., that's your liver. So that's really common. The timing for those hours is really common for when people wake up. So even when they do go to sleep, they're waking up between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. And again, they think it's normal. Ladies, that's not normal. When you go to bed, you should stay asleep till morning time. And I'm gonna tell you what time that is too. But you should stay asleep when you fall asleep at night, right? I go to bed 10, 11, I'm asleep, and I don't wake up until 6 a.m., 6 to 7 a.m. through the night. I don't wake up for the bathroom. I wake up, if a child comes in my room, I have three of them, right? That'll wake me up. But other than that, no. I sleep through the night peacefully. Okay. So 1 to 3, that's your liver. So if you have cholesterol issues, for example, okay, that is not because you eat red meat. That is not because you're eating fat. That is because your liver is congested. Okay. God gave you a liver, just like He gave you a gallbladder for a reason. Your liver, okay, is needed to store cholesterol. It is what makes cholesterol. So 80% of the cholesterol that you have in your body is made by your liver. Did you know that? Because you need cholesterol for, again, your healthy brain fats and your hormone production. Okay? Cholesterol is fat. So don't be afraid of the fat. Stop eating the low fat diets. Don't do that. You need fat. Stop eating the carbs. That's what I want you to do. Stop eating the carbs because that is what contributes to everything going on in your body. Okay, so 1 to 3, that's your liver. Cholesterol issues is a liver problem. If you're waking up during 1 to 3 a.m., that is your liver telling you that it's congested. Okay, that does not mean to go do a liver detox. What it means is, first of all, to make sure you're going to the bathroom 3 times a day because your liver can't move toxicity out of the system if you're not going to the bathroom. Okay, so that's step one. Go to the bathroom, then your liver can move. Okay. Now, 3 to 5 a.m., that is your lung hours. Okay. So if you've ever been exposed to mold, for example, if you ever were a smoker, if you ever were near a smoker, secondhand smoke, okay, if you ever had COVID, anything that impacts the lungs, asthma, for example, right? These are all things that impact the lungs. And typically those are the hours that you will wake up if you have lung damage and your lungs are trying to detoxify. 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Okay. Again, we can fix that though. And then 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., that is when ding, 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 you should wake up because that's the large intestine. 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. So when you go to bed at night and you sleep peacefully through the night and your body is working while you're sleeping to detoxify, you wake up between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. to have your very first bowel movement. Like clockwork every day if your body's detoxing like it should overnight. If not, we have to fix that. Okay. So that's when you should wake up between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. because that's when your large intestine is waking you up to move out all the things that you detoxed overnight to have your first bowel movement. So if you go to bed late, right, you're missing crucial detox hours. So then you may sleep in, but you also may get up early at the crack of dawn because your alarm's going off. You have to go to work, right? So now you've missed possibly the large intestine hours, the gallbladder hours. You wake up during the liver hours, right? Your body's talking to you all night long, and you're trying to decipher what is it saying, or you just think it's normal and it's not. You've just gotten used to it. Okay. So now what do we do about it? Because I know you want to know that, right? Because your gut health impacts your digestion, right? Like I talked about bloating. That's gut health. If you have bloating, indigestion, anybody have acid reflux? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Acid reflux? Yes, okay. Any type of GERD, bloating, flatulence, you feel like your food is just sitting there when you eat, right? Those are all gut microbiome imbalances, right? So we have to make sure we're doing the things that we have to fix that. Okay. So digestion, gut health impacts your digestion, your hormones, like I said. So when you do have good, healthy hormones, You know it because you have a good healthy liver and good healthy moving colon. Okay. If not, you end up with hormonal imbalance. So when the time comes for perimenopause, menopause, right, you already have imbalanced hormones, so you get all those symptoms, right? If you have hormones that are already balanced, you do not have perimenopause symptoms. You do not have menopause symptoms. Okay. There are so many women. I am 46 years old. I'll be 47 in July. Okay. Zero hormonal issues. Okay. But there are so many women that I went to high school with, even younger than me. I had a client that she was 35 years old and her cycle stopped. And her doctor said, "Oh, well, I guess it's time." No, ma'am, that's not normal. She came to me and guess what? Her cycle came back in 6 months because I balanced her hormones without, guess what? Hormonal replacement therapy. That's what we did. We cleaned up her colon, we cleaned up her liver, we got the toxicity out of her system because the last thing your body will do is reproduce if you're full of toxicity. It will choose survival every time. And a lot of women are walking around in survival mode. Okay. So you have issues going on in the body, but it's because your body's literally asking for help. Okay. And then there's nutrient absorption. So tell me this. I know some of the answers, but who's taking vitamins? Okay.
I
Awesome.
am.
Awesome. What are you taking?
My AM and my PM and my multivitamin.
Awesome. Peak performance.
Peak performance.
All right. Who else? Who else? Who else? All right, Michelle. Okay, good. Awesome. Awesome. You ladies are on the right track. Anybody not taking peak performance? Might be a better question because I know most of you are. Beatrice, I see you're on there. Hey. Okay, so nutrient absorption. So if you're taking the right vitamins, your absorption is also key, right? So first and foremost, when it comes to gut health, okay, your gut health impacts nutrient absorption because if you do have acid reflux, for example, okay, that is impacting your ability to absorb your foods and any nutrition that you put in your mouth. Okay. So it's super important to make sure that you're balancing things out. And number one, by taking the right vitamins that have a high absorption rate. And we know peak performance has 10 times the amount of absorption than most vitamins do. Okay. Most vitamins do not work because they don't have a good absorption rate. Okay. So you want to make sure you're taking the right ones so you do get what you need out of your vitamins. You get the nutrient absorption that you need from what you're taking. But at the same time, when you eat your foods, right, if you have acid reflux, that means you also are reducing the amount of absorption that you have when it comes to your foods. So you want to make sure that you're also taking an enzyme, a good enzyme, very specifically is the one that I recommend, to make sure you improve your ability to break down your foods so that you can get the absorption from the foods that you're eating. Okay. Also important. And then you have better energy, of course, for taking the right vitamins. If you have good gut health, you have good energy. You can't have great energy without great gut health. Just think about the last time you were constipated, if you were, okay? How much did that drag you down? A lot. Yeah. It's really draining when you're holding on, your body's harboring toxicity. It literally takes all the energy that you have because your body's working really hard trying to move things out, but it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so your body works overtime when you're backed up pretty much because that's what it is. Okay. And you don't want that. You don't want that. So you want to make sure that you have good energy and good gut health does that. So then of course your immunity is high as well because 70% of your immune system is in the gut. Okay. So when you have good gut health, you have good immunity. Everybody else is catching the common cold and the flu and COVID and all these other things, right? Everything, every year there's something, right? But we all know that one person that's always sick. That's bad gut health. Okay. I can see it a mile away, right? Because you don't have the immunity that you need in your gut. 70% is in the gut. So it's super important to make sure you have a good gut health. All right. So now let's talk about what your gut hormone connection is, right? So let me see. Show of hands or drop it in the chat, whatever you like to do. What are my average ages here? So what state are we in our hormonal system for women? Is it perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause? All right, we got 73, 54, 40s. Okay, awesome. So a good, nice wide range. I like it. Okay. So, but guess what? Those symptoms that I talk about, they begin in the 40s. And there are women walking around in their 80s that still have these symptoms, even though they no longer have their cycle, right? Because guess what? Even when your cycle stops, that does not mean your hormones go away. You still have them. They're just in a different quantity, okay? So you want to make sure that they're balanced at the right age, at whatever age you are, for the amount that you need. Because the more for example, your estrogen does decline, that increases your chances of a heart attack. Because guess why? Estrogen is very protective, right? But guess what? The good kind. There's lots of bad estrogen that we're walking around with. Those are xenoestrogens, phytoestrogens, all different kinds, right? So these are not the ones that we make. These are not the ones that God gave us. These are the ones that man made. All right. And that's not what we want in the body at all. Because what happens is when you are loaded with bad estrogen, okay, that is what will create hormonal imbalance because you have too much of the bad stuff, which makes you have too much estrogen. And guess what? Most breast cancers are hormonally driven because they are estrogen dominated cancers. So when we're eating, where are my chicken lovers? When we're eating all the chicken we're eating, right? We're drinking non-filtered water, not clean water. We're drinking out of plastic water bottles, eating out of plastic, right? All the things that contribute to bad estrogen going into your system, right? So we're literally putting it in our bodies. We're drinking it, we're eating it, we're even breathing it, unfortunately. But it's everywhere, okay? So that's why it's really important to make sure that you're going to the bathroom so your body can naturally eliminate things that are in excess. Because guess what? These hormones will lie when you have them in excess. They sit in your liver. Okay. So remember I said you need good hormonal balance, you need good gut health for that, right? Well, you need good liver health as well. We make our hormones naturally, but when you intake the bad guys, the bad estrogen, okay, the excess is stored in your liver. So that means what? You can't detoxify. So the reason why you may be waking up between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., it's guaranteed that you're waking up because your liver's congested. But the root cause, which is what I'm always after, is why is your liver congested? What is it that's causing liver congestion? Okay. Is it the bad estrogen in your body, right? Is it the Teflon cookware that you have? Is it the antibiotics that you took? Is it all the prescription medications that your doctor has you on? Because they all sit in your liver, okay? Is it the wrong type of vitamins you're taking because they're not methylated, right? Is it the mold exposure that you had in that last apartment you lived in that you had no clue about? Right? All these different, that can go on and on and on. But these are all the different examples of things that your liver has to detoxify. But it can't do that, number one, if you're not going to the bathroom, because your liver is upstream of your colon. So if your colon's not moving, your liver's not moving, right? So all these different things will contribute to a congested liver. So that's not a good thing, right? Poor digestion will influence estrogen balance, okay? So again, breaking down your foods, absorbing nutrition, and going to the bathroom. It will also impact inflammation, blood sugars, right? Cortisol. Which hormone is that? That's the stress hormone. So tell me this, who sits up at night and can't go to sleep simply because their brain is going? Yeah. And you can't turn it off. You're like, well, I'm laying here. I want to go to sleep, right? But my brain has other plans. Now you're going through your to-do list when everything else is finally quiet, right? That's your cortisol. That is the stress hormone that now is allowed. Number one, it keeps your belly extended and distended and full when you don't want it to, right? That's cortisol sitting in your belly because your liver can't detox it out. Okay. But that's also cortisol keeping you awake at night because your levels are high. But your levels are high because you guess what? You're not detoxifying it out. So you see how everything's connected? All connected, all connected, all connected. Yes, yes, yes. And then of course, so then that impacts your sleep, right? And we don't want that. We want good sleep. We want to be able to feel great when we wake up in the morning because that hormone connection when it comes to your gut is what happens when you want to have a good connection, I should say that, right? Good hormonal imbalance comes from having good gut health. Now, good gut health also directly impacts what? Your weight. So we as women, right? we're- There's always something we want to lose, whether it be 1 pound or 15 pounds or 50 pounds, right? There's always something. But your weight challenges may involve inflammation, right? Stress, poor sleep, again, blood sugar imbalance, digestion, and nutrient deficiencies. There's a number of different things, right? So when it comes to wanting to lose weight, it's not just okay, calories in, calories out. Okay. I was a boot camp instructor and personal trainer for 15 years. I train people all the time on how to look good on the outside. Okay. But if I did not teach them how to look good on the inside, it did not matter. Right. You have all the muscles in the world and still have the same heart attack that the 100-pound excess person has because your insides are not healthy. All right. It doesn't really matter how many weights you can lift. Right. It's about the internal and that's reflected on the external. Okay. So what you want to make sure that you're doing is having the right connection, but everything working together to have the right balance. Okay. And when I mentioned blood sugar balance. Let me go back to that. Okay. Because when we eat food, tell me this. So what did you ladies eat today? It is 7:30. So tell me what y'all ate. Everybody had dinner already, right? No, Miss Cheryl, come on.
And it's because I'm in California.
Ah,
It's only
okay. It's 4:30 there.
4:52. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Gotcha. Okay. Well, you have an excuse. Okay, good.
yeah.
My Eastern Standard Time and my Central folks, awesome. Tasha had salmon, perfect. Who else had dinner?
Had a salad.
Awesome. Salad, rice and beef, soft tacos. Okay, okay. All right, so let's talk about it then. Blood sugar balance, all right, because I don't want you to have imbalance. That is what happens when you have not just diabetes, right? Any type of insulin resistance. It does not have to be diabetes. It can be PCOS, that is insulin resistance, okay? It can be Alzheimer's, that is insulin resistance, okay? Whenever you have any of these, somebody got some music going? What is that? Okay. So whenever you have any of these, okay, those are all blood sugar imbalances, right? So you want to make sure that you have these things in check, even high blood pressure. Okay, see these are all connected to what you're putting in your mouth again, right? So when you do have breakfast, for example, okay, I don't eat breakfast until 10 a.m. I eat twice a day. I've been doing intermittent fasting for 7 years now, right? So that's a really good way for me to eat. It's a really good way for a lot of people to eat, but that's not what a lot of people do, right? Because we're taught to eat what, 6 small meals a day. We need to graze all day long, but we are not horses. No, you should not be grazing all day long, okay? Then you want to look like a horse. No, don't do that. So what you should be doing, especially as women, okay? When you wake up in the morning, thanks for joining JL Bolton. All right, have a good trip. So when you first wake up in the morning, okay, protein, protein and healthy fats. That's what you want to have for breakfast, okay? Don't start your morning with carbohydrates. Okay, so oatmeal, grits, waffles, the pancakes, the bagels, right? Even yogurts loaded with sugar, right? Granola, all these different things, right? These are all carbohydrates that break down into pure sugar. So now you've started your day off with something that's already going to make your blood sugars rocket. And that's the worst thing you can do because your sugar is already the highest in the morning. naturally. Okay, so this is again, God designed us this way. When you first wake up in the morning, if you are diabetic, for example, right, you take your sugar in the morning, it's the highest in the morning because it should be, right? It's what allows your brain to wake up. You get up ready to start your day. Your sugar's already high, but not it's at its highest point. I will say that, okay? That doesn't mean it's high, right? You can wake up in the morning and it'd be 85. For like me, I'm 85 first thing in the morning, right? Throughout the day, I go all the way down to 70 something. But that's because I eat zero carbs. Zero, nada, zilch, nothing. Nope, nada, not a one. Okay. Zero. That doesn't mean I don't have sugar in my system. Your liver produces glucose. Remember that liver again? Your liver does so many different things. So many different things, right? So my body has enough fuel to run on because I'm running on number one, I'm running on ketones, which is fat, right? Because I eat proteins and fats. So that allows my body to run on strictly ketone production. Okay. And the little bit of glucose that I do have is literally just to keep my body functioning. You don't eat much. All right. So when you do start your morning off, yes, you want to make sure that you have protein and healthy fats. Okay. So you don't spike your sugar even further. And then throughout the day, as it comes down naturally, if you do want to have carbs, lunch. Okay. Because if you want to, I always make sure I tell folks the max you should have of carbohydrates throughout the day is 30 to 50 grams. No more than 50. No more than 50. Otherwise, that's when things begin to happen in the body that should not, and it happens chronically. So high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, you name it, right? But it's because of chronic elevated levels of glucose in the bloodstream. Okay, not overnight. Diabetes does not happen overnight. Okay, it's from years of elevated glucose. So in order to bring that down and reverse it, number one, you have the right nutrients on board. But number two, you make sure that you're eating in the right fashion so that your glucose is not elevated all day long. So that means don't start your day with carbs, okay? Because when you do, typically, when you eat carbs again for lunch, and then carbs again for dinner, and you have those snacks in between, have another snack before bed, and then what happens? Now you can't go to sleep because you up and you have all this sugar, and your body like, I really want to go rest and detox, but no, you didn't gave me all this good stuff and I can't move my bowels now, and all this just adds up, right? See how easy that how it goes, right? Your body's trying to tell you, no, back away from the table. Back away. Give me a boiled egg instead, for example, right? Give me a ground beef patty. Give me the patty without the bun. Eat the burger, but without the bun. Okay. Eat the steak and potato without the potato, right? Cut the carbs. Cut the carbs. No more than 30 to 50 per day. Because that's going to help you in the long run. If you want to add years to your life, balance your blood sugars. Okay. Super important. All right. Now, lastly, I'm going to talk about the big one here. We talked about pooping 3 times a day, right? But how do we do that? Because it matters so much. Constipation and chronic bloating should not be ignored, okay? Because that's how important it is to your body, all right? So when you do eat foods, if you do have, like I said, stress, if you're eating processed foods, if you have a low stomach acid, right? If you've been on antibiotics, if you have inactivity, you're a couch potato for lack of a better term, right? If you're dehydrated, or even if you just don't chew your food, right? I have a almost 8 now. I can't say 7 because she would get me. I have an almost 8, a 10-year-old, and an almost 13-year-old. Okay. My 10-year-old, she at one point, she's my eater. Okay. She's about this big, but she's my eater. But she used to chew her food and be done in the drop of a hat. But she's also the one who follows instructions to the T. So I told her, I gave her instruction. I said, you have to now chew your food 20 times before you swallow. So she went from being the first to finish to the last to finish. And one day I actually forgot that I told her that. And then I finally asked her, why is it taking you so long to finish your dinner? So, Mom, remember you told me to chew my food 20 times each spoonful? And I went, oh, she's actually doing it. But that contributes to your bowels being locked up because you chew your food too fast and you swallow it too fast, and your system doesn't have a chance to catch up, right? The acid that you have in your stomach doesn't have a chance to break down your food. Okay. So yeah, Tasha, you know what I'm talking about. So yes, exactly. You have to make sure you're chewing your food so you have a chance to get it down, but also break it down in between takes pretty much, right? So yes, chew your food. It's really important to have good gut function, okay? Because this is one of the common causes. So everything that I just named, these are common causes of gut dysfunction. Okay, you don't want that. But small changes can create really big results. So number one, definitely chew your food thoroughly. Okay. Hydration. Okay. And then when I say hydration, I don't mean empty water. Make sure you're getting in the electrolytes. Okay. So when I drink water, I'm very intentional. I'm not just drinking water to be drinking water. We're made of water, yes, but there's also such thing as drinking too much water. Okay. And people do that and they flush out their electrolytes because they've heard these stories that you should drink a gallon of water a day. No, you should not. You should drink when you're thirsty. Okay. But you should also have water that's going to fuel you, which means you have electrolytes in it. Okay. Don't just drink please don't ever drink tap water, number one. Number two, don't drink plastic bottled water because you're drinking microplastics. Okay. That is a carcinogen. Okay. Get a filter for your water, a whole house one if you can do that. That's even best because you're bathing in the same water that your tap water is. Okay. So all these things enter the system. You have to detox that stuff out. So think about it. Okay. Food you cook, right? If you're using your tap for your water when you cook your food, right? That's the same thing as you're drinking it. So think about those things, okay? When you drink your water. So hydration, movement, okay? As little as 30 minutes a day if you're walking, or 10 minutes a day if you're doing what I recommend, a mini rebounder, okay? Because not everybody, it's easy to get in 30 minutes, but not everybody can do that. So 10 minutes a day, there's no excuse for that. Get yourself a mini trampoline, literally, okay? It's called a rebounder. 10 minutes on a mini trampoline is equivalent to 30 minutes of walking because the up and down motion, right? You're literally burning calories for that 10 minutes, but you're also getting your body moving. Yes, 10 minutes is all you need, okay? Put it in your bedroom if you need to, put it in the living room in front of the TV, put it in your office. Even better, right? So small change, small change. Eat whole foods, right? Again, don't be afraid of what? Don't be afraid of the fat. Eat the steak. I eat it every day. Eat the ground beef without the bread, right? Eat the food that your body needs. Your body is made of, guess what? Protein and fat, not carbs. Did you know that? We eat the breads, the rice, the pasta, pancakes, the waffles, the oatmeal, bagels, right? On and on. The cakes, the pies. Oh my gosh. The muffins, right? None of that, none of that is essential for the human body. It just tastes good because it has, guess what, in it? Sugar. And it is a legal drug. That's all it is. The more you eat it, the more your body wants it. So a brain on sugar and a brain on cocaine look exactly the same. So visualize that, okay? I'm sorry, Miss Greta, but yes, exactly the same. So visualize that next time you're eating your cakes and ice cream and pies and what's holiday coming up? 4th of July, whatever you're gonna be eating. What is it? They say the apple pie. Eat yourself, get a baked apple. Get yourself an apple, slice it up and bake it, put some cinnamon on it, and skip the apple pie, okay? Cinnamon will slow down the absorption of the sugar in the apple. Okay. Yes, Juneteenth is next. You're right. So yeah, when you eat the barbecue and the potato salad, oh my Jesus. No. Skip the potato salad. No, don't do that. All right. So yes, eat the protein and the healthy fats. Okay. So salmon is a great, great example. Okay. Avocado is another one. Okay. Bison. I love bison. Lamb. Okay. Make sure you're eating wild caught if you're eating seafood. Okay. Sardines, for example. Okay. These are all good options that have both protein and healthy fat in them. Okay, so make sure you're eating what your body needs. Eat for your hormones, very specifically, ladies. Okay, because as the older we get, the more we have to be intentional about eating for our hormones. Healthy hormone balance. That's what you want. Okay. And again, just those small changes, because all that will add up. Okay, and you'll get better sleep at night too, because that's what we want, right? We feel better when we get sleep. All right, so my favorite recommendations, okay, my foundational supports, all right, digestive support. We talked about having good gut health and doing that, having 3 bowel movements per day, right? So there's 3 different things that I highly recommend and take myself. I can share with anyone that's here if you don't already have it. But I use 3 different products called the Gut Health Bundle, okay? Number one, fiber. I'm not talking about any type of fiber. Okay? I'm talking about a prebiotic fiber that actually feeds your good gut bacteria. Yes, Miss Greta, you have it. Yes, absolutely. So fiber-wise works with the good guys. That's what you want, right? You want to feed the good guys you already have. I'm not talking about taking Miralax, Metamucil, Benefiber, all the stuff your grandma used to take. No, those are bulk fibers. Okay. What they do is they literally take all of the water from your system, move it to your colon to force you to go to the bathroom. So what does that do? Dehydrates you. And all of your electrolytes just went out the back door with the stool that you just pushed out. So then that creates the rebound effect. So now you have to take it again in 2, 3 days because you're constipated again. Yes, you get stuck in that loop. Okay. So you want to have a prebiotic fiber that's actually going to feed the good guys that you already have, okay, and allow them to proliferate and grow naturally so you rebalance your gut microbiome naturally again, right? Prebiotic fibers. 2, probiotics, but again, not any kind. Don't go to Walmart, Nutrition Depot, Target, wherever, and buy something that says probiotic. It is not going to work. Okay. You need probiotics that actually make it through your stomach acid in a capsule form. Okay. In a capsule form. Otherwise, it will not make it through your stomach acid. Don't go buy liquids. Okay. It's not going to work. It's going to die before it even makes it to your stomach. Okay. Active cultures are going to be no more. And if you're getting yogurt that has probiotics in it that they told you were in it, it's dead before it even makes it to the store. Okay. Because they did what to it? They pasteurized it. So the moment they put heat to it, the active cultures that were in your yogurt at the time they made it, it's now dead. But that label, they're still allowed to say on the label that it has active cultures in it because it was there at the time of distribution before they pasteurized it to ship it to you. And now you just bought some dead yogurt. That's all it is. Some dead yogurt, yes. So don't do that, okay? Make sure you're getting the right products. Matter big time, all right? And then last, digestive enzymes. This is the big gun when it comes to gut health. Most people do not have enough enzymatic function because their acid is low. Number one, your stomach acid is low, which means you have low digestive function. Okay. If you don't have your gallbladder anymore, you also, guess what? Don't have the ability to digest fats. Your doctor did not tell you that. If he did, he wouldn't have been able to make the money he made when he took your gallbladder. Okay. Super important. If you don't have your gallbladder, number one, but also if you ever have any type of indigestion. Okay. I don't have any of these issues, but guess what? I still take a digestive enzyme with both of my meals. Okay. Because as you get older, your stomach acid naturally decreases. Right. But I still want to be able to eat my steak and all the stuff that I am eating for my healthy hormones. So I make sure I keep my enzymatic function super high. Okay. So I can, number one, break down my foods, but also kill pathogens. All right. So when you have good gut health and good stomach acid, that's your first line of protection. So remember, I said your immune system has 70% of it is in your gut. So if you don't have good, strong stomach acid, that's why you keep catching everything that goes around because you don't have enough acid to kill it, right? You breathe it in, goes right into your gut. The bad guys are there hanging out, waiting for some more bad guys, and now they make you sick. But if you have more good guys and you have good, strong stomach acid to kill the bad guys when they come in, you're better off. Okay, so that's why it's super important to make sure you're taking, call it the 1, 2, 3 punch. So fiber, the right kind, probiotics, the right kind, and digestive enzymes. I take a very, very specific bundle called the gut health bundle. All right. And then, of course, like I said, getting sleep, going to bed, turn the TV off at night, turn off the blue light on your cell phone, put it down. I don't even have a TV in my bedroom. Okay. My cell phone stays in the other room when I go to bed. Okay. These are all distractions that keep you up at night, contributing to your lack of detoxification. Okay. We don't want that. All right. So you can turn off the brain. Okay. All right. And then, of course, nutrient absorption. Make sure you're getting in the right vitamins. Most of you sounds like I'm taking the right vitamins already. Okay. So now I would love to be able to open the floor up to questions for the ladies that are on with me. And I know some of you have asked questions in the past as well. So if you have something different, please let me know that too. So, again, if you do have a question, I'm going to stop the recording first of all. And thank you for joining me, whoever did catch the replay, because I'm going to offer these ladies something special when we get off. Okay, where is my button?